Hey guys, this is Mel, and I'm back to talk about Legends of Tomorrow, episode 412, titled Eggplant, the Witch in the Wardrobe, which premiered Monday, April 22nd, 2019 on the CW. I'm recording, it's 11:40 p.m., so it's been a few hours since the episode has aired, so huge spoiler alert. If you haven't seen the episode already, please go do so first, then come back and see what I have to say about the episode. My other video reminders are up on screen, so take a moment to remind yourselves of those. I'm going to try to do this in 15 minutes. It is actually a lot to talk about. So let's start the clock and let's begin with what happened in this episode. So timeline-wise, I believe it continues after the events of 4:11, just because it looks like at the start of the episode, everyone is returning to the Wave Rider after the events of 4:11. So we get Constantine coming back from Hank's funeral. We have Ray and Nora still on the ship. And then we have Sarah and Zari coming on after their trip to 1802. But the episode does take place in the present day in Washington, D.C. of 2019. So there's no time jumping in this episode, which I think is a first. But the episode reminder, I guess I would say, is first off the Narnia reference with the eggplant, the witch in the wardrobe, referencing to the lion, the witch in the wardrobe. Sarah even makes a reference directly to Narnia. And the fact that we do stay in 2019 throughout the whole entirety of the episode. So there's that. The villain of the episode is Neuron. So the team actually faces off against him in Desmond's body. So there's that. So episode breakdown. There's actually 4 different storylines that I picked up on after some careful thought. First one being missing Ava. Second one being Neuron's plans. Third one being theme park plans. And the fourth one is relationship advice. Technically, 1, 2, and 3 are all interconnected with each other. The fourth one could kind of be like a really the standalone storyline. So with that said, with the first storyline with missing Ava, we find out that Ava was kidnapped 2 weeks ago, which will explain her absence in the previous episode. And she is being prepped. Her body's being prepped for a demon possession, which is very different to how Supernatural does it. With Supernatural, the demon just takes over the body without any consent at all. For this version of the process, it looks like the soul of the soul of the body has to be broken down to the point that they could be possessed. So because of this, Ava's soul is kind of sent in limbo to her own purgatory to make her break. But in order to escape, she has to kind of overcome these obstacles. And pretty much her purgatory is like this mega store, which kind of resembles IKEA. So that was pretty interesting there, just all the different analogies and stuff. The second storyline is Neuron's plan. So Neuron is the one who kidnapped Ava to prep her body for possession. So with that as kind of a lead, we do have Constantine, Nora, and Charlie managing to capture Neuron and place him in a holding cell at the Time Bureau, where they try to figure out answers as well as try to get him out of Desmond's body. We do find out that he wanted magical creatures originally so that he could use them to scare humans into giving up their souls to him. But Hank betrayed him by designing the whole theme park idea, which is why he kind of ended up killing him. So there's a little more to that, but that's pretty much the gist of it. Which leads to the third storyline of theme park plan. So Nathan, who's still reeling from his father's death, is trying to figure out what the whole purpose of the park was. Was it true? Was it not? What was Hank doing? So he meets one of Hank's contacts at the construction site for the park, Mikey T. And throughout this whole process with Ray, Nathan comes to terms with what Hank was trying to do with the park, and the legacy he was trying to leave, and all that. So, and then eventually allows for construction to continue forward, which I have mixed feelings about. But anyways, and then the fourth storyline with the relationship advice, when all of 1, 2, and 3 are happening, we have Zari getting unwanted advice from Mona, Charlie, and Mick back on the Wave Rider, all about her crush on Nathan. Eventually, she does send a text to him asking him to go out on a date with her, but he doesn't get it because his phone gets destroyed before he has a chance to read it. So there's that. Last moments of the episode show Ray somehow getting possessed by Neuron because he's whistling away during his walk away from the Time Bureau, and dogs who have who react negatively to Neuron is pretty much barking aggressively at Ray, who was very friendly to dogs before. So that was the ending there. Tidbit-wise, though, we do see Nora being comatose after her final encounter with Neuron in Desmond's body. We do have Nora also remembering or sharing the Neuron the first time she met Constantine when she was a teen. This is a flashback that we did see back in season 3 of Legends, so I thought that was pretty cool. And that must be a little messed up, the fact that he helped her as a teen in the present day, but yet he's seeing the future version of Nora in a sense. So there's that. We also get the real Desmond back in control of his own body with his memories of being sent to hell and being under Neuron's control. So he doesn't forgive Constantine for the actions leading to him going to hell. So there's that. We also find out that Neuron targeted Ava to be the vessel for his Tabitha, which makes sense as to why in Ava's time in her purgatory, there was always the mention of, like, you don't have long until Tabitha comes, you don't have long until she comes type of thing. So it's kind of putting a timer for Ava to escape and gain control of her own body, or it's going to be Tabitha taking over her body. So that kind of makes sense after I found the scene again to watch, because I had a phone call. But anyways, also we do see Gary again, and he drops everything at the Time Bureau when he finds out about Ava's situation, and he goes to be by her side. So there's that. Moving on to the most shocking moment of the episode. Technically, it would be Neuron having taken possession over Ray as his new vessel, or at least temporarily, or he's hiding within Ray until he has a moment to fully gain control of him. It's not really shocking for me, because when that whole encounter happened against Neuron, I kind of had a suspicion about him not being destroyed by Nora's magical outburst, but that he would have maybe found refuge in Ray's body, because his last known spot he was shown was just above Ray's body, unconscious body. So that's why I'm not completely shocked. I'm great that I got confirmation, but now it's going to really suck, because now, like, how are they going to get him out of Ray? He's not going to fall for the same trick twice that they managed to do to get him out of Desmond's body. So there's that. Moving on to top 3 favorite moments. First one has to be the whole journey that Sarah and Ava had inside Ava's purgatory. It was mainly around all the different little situations they had that still tied into some of the major relationship questions they should be asking about themselves, which tied into Ava's anxiety about their relationship and all the unknowns that she has to face. So marriage came up, and monogamy, which was great when we got to see all the rows of Ava dolls, as well as older versions of Ava and Sarah, as if they've been in a relationship for 50 years down the line type of thing. We do have them talking about permanently moving in together or not to move in together, what it's like to live a mundane life versus an adventurous life, what's it like following the rules versus going through and rushing through things. So it's very interesting to see the different scenarios they had to go through, as well as what it meant in terms of their relationship. So I thought that was pretty cool. It was very interesting to see each of them come to different conclusions or their own observations about the whole thing. So I really appreciate that. It was very an interesting and creative way to put that into a different perspective and have them think of things a little differently about those topics. So like that mattress thing about marriage, I never would have thought of that. But yeah, there's that. So that was pretty cool. Second favorite I had was Nora's plan to get Neuron to leave Desmond's body. She really had me going. I thought like she truly was being corrupted by his influence, how he was kind of sweet talking her to be on his side. I truly thought like he was winning against her, but then to have it that was part of her plan all along, I truly commend that. So that was pretty cool to see. It was also great to see that Constantine was in on it, or at least he had an idea of what she was trying to do. So it was great teamwork for the two of them, for sure. Though it does have me questioning just a few things whenever you watch that whole Tabitha bit between Neuron and Nora, was that she said that she mentioned the fact, he questioned about whether or not the team knew what she was truly capable of, and she said they have no idea. I'm wondering if he knows to what extent she's truly capable of, or if she's also keeping that hidden from him as well as the others too. So there's that. Another favorite I did have was seeing the team up between Nate and Ray. Their friendship, as well as them being there for each other in their moments of emotional crises, was just fantastic to see. It's been a very long time since we had the best friends teaming up and helping each other again. And also to see Nathan steal up as well was pretty great as well too. And to have him mention their names of how like I'm Steel, you're the Atom type of thing. So it was very cool to get that brought back. And a side favorite I did have was Mick's comment to Zari. She was questioning why she should be taking love advice from Mona and Mick when they both fell in love with non-humans. And Mick countered by saying, love is love. I just love that. I mean, you wouldn't expect it from him, but then, like, that was perfectly said, though. So I do appreciate that. And let's move on to top 3 peeve moments. The only peeve I really had was the whole relationship advice side storyline. It just seemed very pointless to me to have. Like, this episode was already majorly packed with all, like, the interconnected storylines involving neurons, with Ava being kidnapped to become a vessel for Tabitha, neurons capture, and then as well as Nate trying to figure out what Hank was trying to do behind Neuron's back. Like, all those were enough as it was. The relationship advice portion of the story, that was a great comic relief and such, but I felt like there was really no point to it, especially when at the very end, Zari goes through all this advice and all these different scenarios just to make out a text to Nathan. She sends it, but then when she goes to confront him about it and he doesn't, and he admits that my phone got destroyed before I could read anything, she doesn't admit to what she texted him. She just brushes it off saying, oh, it's not important type of thing. That just made it seem like the whole time that she spent on that little portion of the arc in this episode was for nothing. There's like no, if she had admitted to it and said like, oh, yeah, I texted you if like you wanted to go out with me. Like if she had done that at the very end, like she admitted what she texted to him, I would have been fine with this, with the 4th storyline. But because she didn't do that, now it just seemed like that storyline would have been pointless. I could have foregone that whole portion, no matter how funny it had for its moments. I could have foregone it, and then like it would have felt like I didn't miss anything. Like, but like all because she refused to acknowledge it to Nate when she was face to face. That's like the difference of what that storyline would be deemed as relevant or just not important type of thing. So that was the peeve there. It's just like I felt like while it was great comedic content, I felt like it was just a waste. It's just you have 4 team members who you don't have for a mission, so it's just like you just have them sitting around. It's like, no, have them go do another time mission or something, or go have them look into something else, or help one of the other storylines going on, right? So it's just like, no. So there's that. Moving on to what will I remember most when I look back on this episode, it's probably going to be Ava's purgatory story about how like all the analogies that came with it, the fact that it reminds me of IKEA. So there's that. We also got brought back to the Ava clones in the form of the Ava dolls. So there's that. But moving on to random questions very quickly. First off, who is Tabitha? I mean, this is the first episode we hear it, but mainly I had that question because I had a phone call during the Neuron and Nora conversation. But all I got was that she was meant to be who Ava was being prepped for as a vessel. But did Tabitha get mentioned at all beforehand? And like, if Tabitha is supposed to be like Neuron, I'm assuming they couldn't think of a better name. I mean, like, no. Okay. But anyways, next question. Was Ray clued in to the trap that Nora and Constantine had laid out for Neuron? Because it seemed like Constantine was, but yet when Ray rushed in, he did not seem like he had a clue whatsoever what was going on. Like, he didn't know, like, he acted as if, like, what was happening, like, he had no idea that was supposed to happen type of thing. I have no idea, though. So there's that. Another question. Doesn't anyone care that creating the theme park is going to bring exposure to the magical world to the humans and cause more chaos than it is meant to? So there's that. And another question is, why does Nate keep falling for the ladies that aren't part of his time period? He fell for Amaya, who is from 1940s. He has a crush on Zari, who is from 2042. And it's like, isn't the same thing that he had to do with Amaya going to be the same thing he's going to have to do with Zari? Because technically Zari in Nathan's time is just a little kid, right? So it's like, same thing with Ray and Nora. Nora is technically a little kid in the current timeline with Ray. So it's like, it's just, love stories over timelines is just so confusing, because logically I think it's one way, and yet they're doing it completely different. Yet how does that not affect what their other selves are doing? Is like, I don't know. But there's that question there. I don't think I have any other ones. Yeah, I don't have any other ones. So there's that. But let's move on to predictions very quickly. There's the timer going off right now. So I almost made it, but the promo for 413 shows Ray struggling to fight Neuron, trying to have complete control over his body. So there's that. Seeing him fight against many team members and trying to kill them type of thing. So there's that. Him talking to the Neuron version of him in the mirror and stuff. So there's that. Synopsis, though, for the episode reads, while Ray is worried about Nora, he is suddenly faced with his own problem that forces him to do the unthinkable. That's a clever way of putting it there. But anyways, Nate and Zari are stuck in an awkward limbo, so Sarah devises a plan to send them on an easy mission together. Meanwhile, Charlie and Mick are approached with a lucrative offer that could upend their lives. I don't know what the hell they could be getting into, but it's called Egg McGuffin or something. I'm sure that's supposed to be a playoff of the McDonald's Egg McMuffin. Don't know why they would name it that, but I guess we'll have to wait and see about that. But otherwise, that is pretty much it. What do you think will happen in the following episode? What did you guys think of this episode? Let me know in the comments down below. Love to hear your own thoughts, theories, and predictions, but what you think will happen next. Also, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and check my other videos if you haven't done so already. If you want, check out my Tumblr page. The link for that is down below. I read blog promos, web clips, quotes, gifs, synopsis, news, all that good stuff all in one place. Go check that out. I am behind, fully aware. I'm hoping that once the season finales have aired, I can get back into it and do a massive update. So there's that. WordPress account, link for that is down below. Everything I post online is connected to WordPress. It's a little more organized, it's a little more detailed, but again, a work in progress, so keep that in mind as well. So otherwise, that is pretty much it. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for your patience. I hope you come back next week to see what I have to say about the next episode. We have 13, 14, 4 more episodes left of the season. So I hope you come back and see what I have to say about that. So this is Mel, wishing you all a great day, great week everywhere. Bye for now.